What's up YouTube? YamaArashi here, and I'm coming to you today with a Banlist discussion video. Just as a note, this is not all-inclusive, not all of this has to change at once, but based on what I've seen in the past couple formats, and especially this one, these are the changes I could see happening, and it also takes into account future cards to come out in the next set or sets after. Like OCG imports, things like that. So first we're going to start with banned cards. I could see Pot of Avarice getting banned and switch with Pot of Greed. I think that's actually a pretty good idea because, if you're playing against windups, you outplay them, they shockmaster you, but then you outplay them, you get over their entire board. Now they activate Pot of Avarice, they get everything back, and then they win the game. So it's like you're getting punished for outplaying your opponent. So I think Pot of Avarice should go. I think that's a really good call. And then I'm going to ban Monster Reborn to bring back Premature Burial. Now the reason why I say Premature Burial, I don't care if it's searchable, I don't care if you can recycle it, okay? It's the fact that you can steal your opponent's monsters, and it can't be negated except with the Solemn Brigade. So, Premature Burial is an equip spell, so it has to stay face up on the field to resolve. So you activate Premature Burial, pay 800 life points, then your opponent activates MST and negates your Premature Burial. I think that's really good. So I think it's more balanced in that aspect, and it only hits cards in your graveyard, and they have to be in face-up attack position. So if your opponent wants to set up a defense, they can't just Monster Reborn, Spirit Reaper in defense mode. They can't do that anymore. Now it's Spirit Reaper in attack mode and hope for the best. Like maybe they have to book a Moonit or something. Alright, next card is Card Destruction. Every time the format changes, it becomes a Dark World format until somebody figures something out. Like, as soon as the deck came out, it was just like, oh, let's play Dark Worlds. And then, oh, Dark Worlds over here. Format change, Dark Worlds. And yeah, so there's a couple changes, but Card Destruction is definitely a must. Your opponent doesn't even have to have cards in their hand in order to, get your pluses. So if I'm a Dark World player, I have 3 Dark Worlds in hand, and then I draw Card Destruction. You have no cards in hand, I can activate Card Destruction and get, 3 effects. So, at least with Hand Destruction, it's sending cards, and your opponent has to have 2 cards in hand already in order to activate the card. Next is banning Heavy Storm or MST to 2. I personally, that's kind of like a wish list, just because Heavy Storm is really powerful, but we have so much back row hate already. I don't think we need Heavy Storm, but we're not going to replace it with anything. Giant Trunade is broken. What else? There's Cold Wave is really dumb. At least you get to keep your cards, but you can't activate anything, so what's the point of having your cards on the field? It's just... Heavy Storm is the most balanced of them all, but it's really a card that is making the format too fast and killing a lot of tier 3 decks, tier 2 decks, because your opponent is playing like Mermails or something. They Heavy Storm your back row. Now you just lost your Bottomless, your Solemn Warning, your Torrential, everything that could protect your monsters and your life points, all because of 1 card, and then they go for game anyway. So yeah, just Heavy Storm or MST to 2. It has to be one or the other. I'm going to mention that in my semi-limited as MST or ban Heavy Storm. And then another ban is Gateway of the Six Samurai. They don't need that card, and it's too broken. As soon as they draw it, especially if it's like turn 1, they draw it in like 2 6-am Uniteds and a 6-am like hand of the Six Samurai. It's pretty much game. Another thing they can do with it is Evil Swarm Ouroboros. That loops cards out of your opponent's hand, and Gateway of the Six Samurai and 2 Uniteds make that happen. So that's not cool. They need to get rid of the Gateway if Ouroboros is going to be a card. So now we're going to move to Limited. Limited is going to be Pot of Greed to 1 only if they switch Pot of Avarice to banned. Then we have Premature Burial only if they switch Monster Reborn to banned. Then we have 1 Tour Guide. You can't hit Rabbit. You can't hit Rescue Rabbit because there's a lot of decks that need Rescue Rabbit that aren't just Dino Rabbit. There's Gem Knights, there's Brotherhood, there's even like I don't know, Heroes. There's a hero deck that needs Rabbit, and so Rescue Rabbit is an okay card. If you're gonna hit it, it's got to be broken. Like they hit it to 2 to make it less consistent, but 2 is a really good number. So if they do touch Rabbit, it would go to 1, but I didn't put it on my list. I put Tour Guide because this way you either Tour Guide into Sangan and wait for a search, or you Tour Guide into Night Assailant and you exceed. Instead of Tour Guide to exceed, or Tour Guide Sangan to search, So now it's a little less, sacky, like you don't make rank 3s all the time. Then I put Laggia to 1 because people play 2, so the only way to hit it is to hit it to 1. Banning it is too much. My list is making the decks playable but not broken. Quote unquote broken. So Laggia to 1 because that's the only way to really hit Laggia. Then Atlantean Dragoons to 1. I do this because it's what I like to call a perfect searcher. It searches for anything you want. Like Witch of the Black Forest is, in my book, a perfect searcher because it searches for boss monsters, because a lot of boss monsters have 1500 less defense, like Dark Arm Dragon. So Atlantean Dragoons gets your Megalo, it gets your the Elemental Lord, Mulanglacia. So you want to hit that card to 1 so that when they summon their Genex Undine, they're either going to pop your back row or they're going to search, so they're probably going to search. And hitting Dragoons to 1 makes you choose, do I want to search with Dragoons, or do I want to use it to attack directly with my other Atlanteans? So that's kind of like the trade-off, so you have to put it at 1. I put Megalo to 1 because they have other boss monsters now, like Abyss Lead and Abysstus. So Megalo to 1, and it also lets you attack twice, so it's automatic 4800 damage. And then you have Megalo, which is 28, so it's just a lot of big monsters in one turn. It's like, why is this a card? Mermails are good, don't get me wrong, but I think hitting Dragoons and Megalo to 1 would be pretty good. Then I have Wind Up Factory. Wind Up Factory to 1. It's really, really good. So if you only have 1, then you'll have more room in your deck for other stuff, and it just stops you from plussing so hard. So I kind of like that. Like one of my Wind Up videos, I had Factory on board, and my opponent had my Thunder King, and I Fiendish Chained it. So I was doing the rabbit dance, like 3 rabbits and a rat, so I was recycling rabbit. Like I was banishing rat, then banishing 2 rabbits, then letting 1 rabbit die from battle. Then they would all come back, then I'd special the rabbit and just, all under goes in match. So Wind Up Factory to 1. I actually hit Macrocosmos to 1 because Macrocosmos is killing all the tier 2, 3, and 3 decks. Um, like, not only does it empower Dino Rabbit, which is now running rampant in the format because it's entirely budget. Probably the most expensive main deck card, if you're doing a budget, is the Caboozles, because they're like $4 or $5 each, you know. So, Macrocosmos to 1, just to stop, you know, killing the decks that it plays against. It lets your opponent, like, if you're playing against Mermails and you get that Cosmos off, they're gonna have a really tough time getting over it unless they draw their MST. So, but that's what your other back row is for, you know, protect stuff. So, it's like, oh, you want to summon Genex Undine? How about I, you know, do something about it? So, Macrocosmos to 1. Then we have Drag Down to the Grave to 1 because it's a Forceful Sentry, a Trap to Shoot, spell card version. So it's obviously faster than Trap to Shoot, and it lets your opponent get a lot of information on you. Like it's for a Dark World deck, but if Dark Worlds were not a thing, I'd probably play this card too. Just because you get all the information from your opponent, like it's, you know, turn 1, game 1. It's like, okay, you're playing agents and you have no live cards except Tragodia, so I'm going to discard your Tragodia. So, I don't know, just think of it that way. But since Dark Worlds are a deck, I'm going to hit that because it's really powerful. So just 1 drag down, that's all you need. Now we're going to go to semi-limited. Semi-limited cards to 2. First is Black Whirlwind. That's the only card Black Wings need to come back to tier 2 at the least. I don't think they'll be tier 1. I don't think they need to be tier 1 because it's an old deck. Like Lightsworns don't need to be tier 1 because it's an old deck. They need new decks to play. So Black Whirlwind, they didn't even need to touch Kalut. If Kalut stayed at 1, Black Whirlwind went to 2, you'd see a lot more Black Wings. Trust me. Black Whirlwind's really good. So put that to 2 and you'll see the deck come back. A lot of people have been talking about TG Striker to 2. I think that's okay because Trishula is not a card. So you used to play TG Agents and you'd special Striker, then you'd summon Venus and, you know, make Trishula. So now you don't do that anymore. You can still OTK with the card if you put it in your agents because you get that free synchro summon. Like you can make, you know, you can make like, you know, some level 7 and then, or a level 6, you make a level 6 and then you use the shine, you know, like reborn the shine ball, make some Daigusta Phoenix or whatever. You know, it's crazy plays, but you know, I think that card can go back for TG stun and stuff like that. Then we have Genex Undine to 2, makes it a lot less consistent, and forces your opponent to only play one controller. So if they draw the controller at all, then their Undines are dead. So that's really good. I think 2 would be a good hit for Genex Undine. Then I have Wind Up Magician to 2. The reason I hit it to 2 is because I want windups to be playable, but I don't want it to be dead. A lot of people are saying hit Magician or Shark to 1. That's way too much. Like, sure, with 2 Magician you can still loop, but you're going to have 1 less card. You know, so it's a little easier to get over. So you want the loop to be less consistent and less powerful. So really the only thing I think that needs to get hit is Magician to 2. And then again I said MST to 2 or ban Heavy Storm. Just really to slow down the format and you know, just make it so that tier 2 and tier 3 decks can come back. Because I like the diversity, it's really good. I think it's really good for the game state. It's tough because we only have 15 cards in the side and extra deck, but that's where skill comes in. You know, you can't side for every single deck, so you have to outplay your opponent. Then I hit Snow to 2, make the searching less consistent for Dark Worlds, and because you can search your boss monster. So like I said, Snow is a perfect searcher. So you either hit Snow to 1 or 2, and the deck will be fine. I know it hasn't done anything for the meta, but it will and always will as long as there's a format change where decks just die, and then people are like, oh, let's pick up Dark Worlds, and then they top an event, and then they stop topping because everybody picked up a different deck. Then we have Rekindling to 2. This is Foreshadow because Laval Vol, Laval decks with Quasar make that a little less consistent, and Fire Kings abuse this card. I play Fire Kings and I'm hitting Rekindling to 2. So yeah, just make that less consistent for the Quasar decks, and we'll see a nicer format when Hidden Arsenal 7 comes out. And lastly, the only card I hit unlimited that I saw could be unlimited at all was Bottomless Trap Hole. But I think it's not ever going to happen because the OCG just hates Bottomless, apparently. Like, they just don't like having Bottomless played against them at all. So, and the ban list is usually based on the OCG anyway. So I don't think Bottomless is ever going to get touched, but I think it should and could come back to 3 because Fire Kings are going to be really good, and Fire Fists are already really good. So you're going to be able to hit the rabbit targets more often, and you're going to be able to hit the bear, hit the gorilla, hit the dragon, or in Fire Kings you're going to hit the yaksha, and just get some nice, stop your opponent for a turn at least. So Bottomless to 3, but it's not going to happen. And in addition, if I were to unlimit a card, it might be Spore, just because it's a once per duel effect, and plants need to do something. Like, people thought plants were going to be good because Spore came back, and Debris Dragon did too, but it did nothing. So having Spore to at least 2 would make the deck a little more playable, a little more consistent. You'd at least be able to like normal summon 1 Spore and then like special summon, with the remove from play effect. So I don't know about Spore, but maybe to 2. So yeah, that's my ban list discussion video. Again, this is not all inclusive. It's just cards that I can see being hit, not all at the same time. But yeah, so leave your comments down below telling me what you think, and or your opinion on my list, and I'll leave that down in the description. So click the like button and subscribe button if you haven't, and I'll talk to you guys later.